South Campus, like Broadway Wild there, or in McGovern, the student union, if there was adequate space for them, just a commuter space where they could relax and have computer availability and small study spaces to work, then that would keep them on campus more. And a lot of commuters I know go home right after classes. So if there was a way to get them here, to have them stay here, they would be able to go to more events. They would, hear about events better. It would just it'd be a solution that's easily obtained. Thank you.
The next question it goes to residents on campus after the commuter question, and this would be for Mike 3 minutes and Ashley for 2. What would you do to improve housing on campus? The questioner says we're slowly running out of space and many of the dorms need to be updated. What do you think, what would be ideas be there, and do you think student apartments should be part of the solution?
I'm sorry, repeat the last.
Do you think student apartments are part of the solution? What would you do about student housing, the shortage of student housing, and addressing the issue of apartments as part of that?
My first 2 years on campus, I lived here. I started off in Bourgeois on East Campus, and then I went to Donahue. So I got a feel of the regular, standard twin room and a suite style living. I completely understand that there is an issue on campus in terms of outdated facilities. The dorms on North were built in the 30s. There hasn't been a new academic building since 1989. This is an issue because in order to be, to attract new students to come here, to live here, we have this whole campaign, Gotta Be Here, and part of that campaign is to live on campus. If we want students to live on campus, we need to create new dorms, renovate temporarily renovate the dorms we have now, and start a new project that incorporates apartment-style living. We have new learning communities for freshmen now, but we need to focus on the upperclassmen. Right now, freshmen, a lot of freshmen live on campus, sophomores, but as you go up through the years, it trails off. They move off campus, they commute like I do now. There needs to be a better way to get them on campus, get them in apartment-style living, just to incorporate them into the campus as a whole.
Ashley.
I think that we definitely need to continue the trend that we started in Fox last year. We completely renovated the first few floors and made them freshman dormitories. I think that as a university we should have all freshmen living on campus, and that way they can get the college experience. Also, I think as a resident of Sheehy for upperclassmen housing, the dorms definitely need to be renovated. We need to put better facilities on South Campus. Concordia and Sheehy need to be updated, and student apartments are definitely a way to do that. Upperclassmen, the apartments that are here now are a little off of North Campus. I'm not sure what they're called, but there's 2 places where you have student apartments. But if we expand that and make it closer to campus, I think that a bunch of the upperclassmen will stay on campus and will become even tighter of a community in the future.
Brief reply.
I wanted to say, in terms of upperclassmen housing and apartment housing, right now we have the East Meadow Lanes, which is right off North Campus. The students that I talk to really don't have a positive or negative aspect about the East Meadow Lane apartments. It's good because they have a kitchen in their room, and they have amenities that aren't available on campus. But the point is, if we renovate, if we build more dorms on campus, it shouldn't be off North Campus. It should be connected to maybe like East Campus or South, where it's closer. The closer it is to the actual campus, the better they can just live a university life and get involved.
Okay, thank you. The next question sort of flows from the last 2 on the needs of commuters and the needs of residents, and looks to the future. The question, and I'm going to edit it a little bit for you who wrote it, but the question will remain pretty much the same. What do you feel the necessary changes that you think need to be undertaken in the future of the University of Mass Lowell. What do you think the challenges and the changes that need to be made in the future, and what would you propose to do about those changes? That's your question first, Ashley, correct?
I think that we definitely need new buildings, whether expand, because our enrollment is up every single year by huge percentages. Whether it's academic buildings on North, which we're getting, or buildings on South, academic and student housing, we need to take our current facilities and make them handicap accessible. Coburn right now is not handicap accessible, and I think Southwick isn't either. We need to build, we need to build on recreation facilities. We have the gym, the rec center, but we need something on South to work with, whether it's kind of a mini rec center or something where the students can go where it's social and not have to study. I just think that in all, we need to become a more modern university.
2 minutes, Mike.
Thank you. First, I'd like to say that off of what Ashley said about the gym, the rec center on East Campus, I don't think that we should create more gyms around the campus. We have Costello on North, we have East. If we have one gym that the entire university uses, it focuses on one of the most important things in this, one of the most important issues and challenges in this university, and that challenge is division. We have East Campus, we have North Campus, we have South Campus. We need to, working for the future, bring the colleges together. I understand that poli-sci or an English major is different than a scientist on North Campus, or is different than a biologist or a mathematician, but we're all students, and we all have something in common. We need to work together, and part of changing the way the university is, creating more unity amongst all three campuses, would better the entire university.
By all means, you have take a brief reply there.
Yeah,
yep.
Really quick in response to that. What I was saying about having some kind of mini gym or something on South was to have, instead of the library where kids can go study or their dorms where they can hang out and live, some kind of like recreation thing on South that would allow, I mean, not necessarily another rec center, but something that would have the facilities that students can go to relax, I guess. Because as a member, I'm actually in intramural staff, and as a member of that, I think that we'd get much more involvement if there was facilities on South.
I'd like to, if we could, go off the format for just a little bit, and I think with the assent of the two candidates, and for one reason. I think we should take a minute to thank David Kaufman for 2 years of service as student trustees here with us today, and served the university well. David? So, not that easy. I thought perhaps it would make some sense to get a question from the trustee. So, David, could you come down and ask a question? I think I have one here that you might want to ask.
Okay, great. Moderator. Should I use the other question or should I?
Can you use that one?
Well, I'm actually, I did write a question, but I'm actually going to change it briefly. So, thanks for the shout out. But I've heard a lot of things about commuters and parking on campus, which are big issues on campus, but we haven't really touched on a big chunk of our population. As trustee, not only do you represent the undergraduate population, but also the graduate students here, over 3,000 of the students. So what makes you the best candidate to represent those graduate students on campus, and what would you do, what would your plans be to reach out to them and connect to them and represent their main issues? I don't know whose turn it is, but.
Me? Yep, thank you. That's a great question.